Welcome to Live from Midgar, the Final Fantasy trading card game podcast recorded at Geeky, located in beautiful downtown Everett, Washington. In today's episode, Steve is joined by some of the most preeminent players in the Pacific Northwest and beyond to discuss all the latest in the world of Final Fantasy TCG. Now, without further ado, take it away, Steve.
Hey, this is Steve.
And this is Neil.
And we're back for Live from Midgar. I believe this is episode 37. It was 36 last time, so I can add.
That's how addition works.
Plus 1 means it's 37. Mm-hmm. All right. So we are back after like a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah.
Right? I've been busy, and I think people have been busy, and there's some rescheduling around here and there.
Yep.
But we're back right in time for the ending of one of the Crystal Cups. Just ended like 2 days ago, right?
Yep. Lightning Crystal Cup.
The Lightning Crystal Cup just ended.
Last week was the death of Opus IX.
What?
The death of Opus IX.
Last week?
Yeah, because the pre-release is this weekend, and
Well,
then it's from there.
I mean,
all right.
You technically, the thing about it is Opus IX is not even legal, like, until for major tournaments or something like that, and then we don't, we don't have the box yet and everything,
right.
Which we will be doing a box opening, 100% sure that we'll be doing and released on time. Like on time, right?
After midnight this time? Yeah, after midnight this time.
But anyways, we want to talk about Lightning Crystal Cup. There is the good, the bad, and the ugly of this also. That's what we're calling it. The good thing is, and I guess, well, not good for everyone, but good for one specific person, I guess. And we wanted to give a shout-out to Matt Okimoto.
Way to go, Matt.
Congratulations. You finally won one. After how many Crystal? There's been 4 Crystal Cups. I believe he's gone to all of them.
I think he's been to all of them.
Yeah, I think he's done an amazing job. He's topped on all of them, I believe. He topped all, or did he not top the Fire Crystal?
He might have bubbled once or twice.
Yeah, I think maybe.
But generally, it's been very, very close.
Yes.
The performance has been
phenomenal.
Pretty stellar.
So he got second place in the Wind Crystal Cup. He got first at the Lightning Crystal Cup, and then I believe in the Water Crystal Cup he did very well. He topped. I think he went to top 8. I believe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Quite possible.
I was there. You weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Fire Crystal Cup, now that I think about it, is the one that he was very close but didn't make. So
Bottom line is he's kicking ass and taking names.
yeah,
So,
I mean, he's just getting better and better and better, right? Fire Crystal Cup didn't make it. Water Crystal Cup makes it, goes top 8. Wind Crystal Cup gets second, and now first. He is one of North America's representative for the Worlds. So that's pretty cool. It's going to happen in LA. I believe also Dark Crystal Cup, the date for Dark Crystal Cup and Nationals has been announced.
It has.
I think it's in September or something. It's like mid-September.
We should fact check these things before we get on the air.
Yeah, the thing is we kind of, while we're talking, these things pop up, and we're like, yeah, this is a topic that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then as everyone probably knows, and we're dying to talk about it.
You're
I
definitely
am.
to talk about it.
And one of the things is the bad and the ugly of Lightning Crystal Cup, and it's just one incident that went, and I know probably any of the viewers here are aware of the situation. What happened was there were some issues with with the tournament. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, with the deck specifically.
With the deck specifically, it was bad. I think there has been issues at Crystal Cups. I think, was it in the Water Crystal Cup, there was an issue with the Fordola misplay. I believe he actually won with that misplay, right? I mean, it wasn't a misplay. It was just illegal move. It was an illegal move. He played a Black Mage for free and Fordola for free or something like that. Like he played 2 cards onto the field for free and then just swung.
Yeah.
And won the game with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe what it was, he had like 3 cards, discarded and put the Black Mage down, and then put the Fordola down and cracked the Black Mage and swung with it because it has now Haste, Brave, and First Strike.
Yeah.
And plus 1,000, which is crazy. I don't know how in God's earth you can make that calculation happen, but it happened.
Yep.
The opponent let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the players won that was playing the Lightning deck. Now, in the Lightning Crystal Cup, what happened was 5 Memphilius.
5 starter Memphilius.
5 starter Memphilius.
More in a deck.
Was in a deck. In a 50-card deck. So it wasn't like a 52 or something like that. It was in a 50-card deck.
And that deck went 5-0 before it was caught.
And he called it on himself.
Yes, he did.
So I know. So that's the bad. And the real thing that I really want to talk about is the judge ruling on that. And I believe Richie made the call, I believe.
Yeah,
I
I'm
believe
not sure if
she made the call.
I'm not sure if Richie did, but she definitely had consulted
with
after
SC?
the fact for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
at some point,
one of the head judges or the judges made the call, and what the call was, according to the rules, the rule for Square Enix for tournament play, it is that at one point when it is clear a deck is an illegal deck, it's an auto loss.
game loss.
It's an auto game loss, right? It's clear, straight to the point, and it says if you cannot prove intent, they are allowed. If it's like a mistake or something, yeah. If you can't prove intent,
if you can't prove intent, well, if you can prove intent, it can be upped.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you can prove intent, they could be disqualified the tournament. If you can't, and you believe that it might be an accident, it could be an accident, then they're able to rearrange their deck so that it meets legality and goes with the deck that you submitted, and you can play your next match. And I believe he lost that one too with the legal deck that he created because it went to Swiss 7 Swiss, right? So he lost the 6 auto and then played his 7th match, and he lost that one. I think he went in with a 5-2 record
into draft.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's what happened. I think a lot of people are heavily divided within the community, and this is the ugly. And if people have been watching on Facebook and stuff like that, it got really ugly.
Yes, it did.
I feel like I'm talking a lot. Why don't you?
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're laying out the case. You're laying it out.
So the thing was, there was a huge divide. So everyone's talking about it, and everyone has an opinion, right? So everyone's saying, some people are saying, this should have happened. No, he should have been disqualified.
I mean, there's 2 major camps right now,
right?
And the 2 major camps are that Richie and the judging crew made the right call, and the other group says that he should have been DQ'd.
Yeah,
and not allowed to play in day 2 because that was what the ruling was. Not only was the game lost, but he was going to be allowed, non-DQ. So he would continue with the record that he had, continuing with the legal deck, and continue on as if there was no issues.
Yeah. So I think, to be honest with you, I actually am okay with the ruling. Personally, I don't agree with it. I think I would have. I personally think it should have been ruled a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. But I'm okay with it. It's fine. You can almost never prove intent, right? Unless you literally goes, hey, I'm gonna cheat and put a fucking extra card in my deck and go fuck yourself. Unless you do that, it's like you literally it's so hard to prove.
It'd be very hard. Yeah, unless the person is coming clean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there's going to be some interrogation where it's like, where were you on the night of cheating your deck?
Right.
I mean, it's not really going to
fucking fingerprinting and shit like that. Like you can't do that, right? So you can't prove intent almost any of the time.
It's hard.
But beyond intent, I don't care if that person wanted to cheat or not. Mm-hmm. Just in that situation, I think the ruling was fine. What about you? What do you think about it?
I don't have a problem with the ruling overall. I think that if I was one of those people that lost, I might have a different opinion. I don't know. That'd be one of those conversations to have with them. What I think that really what came out of this is I think that we need to take a look at the rules, and I think that we need to have clearer guidelines and establish process for situations like this.
Yeah, I think the reason why a lot of people are arguing for DQ is the fact that he was able to play an illegal deck 6 times before something was done about it, and the something that was done about it was on the 6th game.
It basically took all 5 people that had previously lost to this deck that debated. I don't want to even say debatably had an advantage. I mean,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So that's the thing.
You're right.
It doesn't matter that person had an advantage or not. It's an illegal deck.
Yep.
So that's the thing. A lot of people were like, "How do you know if they would have won? You know, how can you prove intent?" But the way I view it is, it doesn't matter. It was an illegal deck. The first game, it was an illegal deck. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth games, all 6 games, it was an illegal deck. The ruling on the 6th game was it was a game loss. Mm-hmm. It should be the same for 1 through 5. That's how I feel. I mean, what makes it different, right? Yeah. The rule was you played an illegal deck, therefore it's a game loss. Yeah. The situation calls for that all the previous 5 games, there was nothing different about it, right? It's an illegal deck. He played it with an illegal deck, and when you play with an illegal deck, it's a game loss. Right. So now that you know previously, I think it should have retroed and counted all of them as a game loss. I think that's how it should be. So, for instance, if you set a precedent like this, if you mess up on your second game, let's say, on your second game you realize, right, then you can edit your deck, and you can still continue to play on and maybe even make day 2. Yeah. Right, but it will cost you those 2 games where it was played with an illegal deck. Yeah. I think it sets a bad precedent, and that's why I don't fully agree with the ruling.
Yeah. I mean, the ruling was the ruling is how the rules stated out. Yeah. And I think that's where we need to look at potentially. I mean, obviously that's what rules are there for. They're specifically to make sure that we can make the best judgment calls that we can, and that we can hold people accountable. Because that's what they're there for. If they weren't there, why are we playing games? Why are we just doing whatever the heck we want to?
Just fucking
throw
Zidanes at each other. I got 50 fucking Zidanes.
Or white mages.
Or white mages.
No. So I think that we just need. I think that we need to look at some other stuff because I think that's where I'm concerned. I want this game to succeed. I want this game. We have competitive events. I know that. I don't know if it's ever been officially, but kind of the vibe has always been that it's more of a casual game. Yeah. That, it's about having fun, it's about playing this game, and that there happen to be competitive events. But if you're going to have things like Worlds and Nationals and Crystal Cups that are a big deal, and you have a judging program in place, and you're having prizes on the line that are potentially a big deal with cards that you can't get generally from the regular populace. I mean, those are things that people want. I mean, we know from a collectible standpoint that's people want those types of cards. They're going to go after them. So we have to make sure that we're trying to keep the integrity of the game up. And I feel that, as you said, this opens the potential for a door for someone to come in and play an illegal deck and try and not get caught. Because when they get caught, all that's going to happen is they're going to get a slap on the wrist and a 1-game loss. And obviously, even if we start to move forward past that, because then it's like, well, everyone only gets 1, right?
Yeah.
But should everyone be allowed to do that once?
Yeah.
Because all it's going to take is someone doing that once and winning a Crystal Cup, and mass hysteria will break out.
Right. I agree. Yeah. It really sets a bad precedent, and I think that's where you and I agree. Yeah. Obviously, right? Yeah. The ruling's okay. It was done accordingly to the rules itself.
100%.
Where I stand is, if you look at the health of the game, I think it should have interpreted the rules a little bit differently, because what you can interpret from the rules is that an illegal deck is a game loss. You can really just bare bone it down to that point, right? Yeah. Illegal decks equals game loss. What happened to game 1 through 5? Yeah. Even though it wasn't caught at that time, it was still an illegal deck. Therefore, it should be game losses. Yeah. And I think they should have done that, and then I think that would have been fair, maybe, perhaps, because it's not technically disqualifying, right? It's not a disqualification. Yeah. Because if you catch it early, right, you're playing your deck. If it was an honest mistake and you catch it early, you can still come back and get into day 2 with.
Oh yeah, that. I mean X2s will make.
Yeah, like Jeff Curran, he lost 3 games, 3 matches out of the 7, first 3 lost, right? Yep. And then went to continuously win the next 5 matches, make it to day 2, and top 4. He went to the semifinals to qualify for nationals. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very possible to do if it's an honest mistake and they catch it early. I mean, yes, it does hinder you a little bit, but doesn't completely wreck you. Yeah. But if you catch it in like Game 6, I mean, get fucked. I don't know.
I mean, I guess this also brings up the question of, I mean, obviously, I think that what I feel probably would have been best is, he's just basically, X6 at that point, so he gets the 1 game in 6. You mean
it's essentially a disqualification, but it's not, right? That's the thing, and I think that's the line that I'm saying. It's essentially a DQ, but it technically is not.
I mean, it sucks for all of the 5 people that lost. I mean, I feel really bad for those people because they didn't get it. I mean, whether they got a fair shake or not, I'm not sure, but they played against someone with an illegal deck. Like that doesn't even Maybe it would have been different. Maybe it wouldn't have been. Yeah, but there's always the what if.
Yeah, there's always the what if. But the fact is doesn't matter. Illegal deck, you get a game loss.
Do you think? I mean, at this point, do you think we have to maybe? I mean, obviously the rules are the rules. Instead of looking at the rules, do we look at something like having to deck check, like legitimately having to have your deck ordered in the same order as your submission list so that the judges can go card by card and go 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 as you walk in. And then obviously at that point, if something happens, you're clearly cheating. I mean, because I mean, the logistics of that are pretty maddening if you think about it.
It's just very difficult.
I mean, that's like 120 people at a Crystal Cup. You're going to have to deck check 120 decks with 4 to even 8 judges. That's going to take a while.
Yeah, I mean, each person would get, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. Right? About 16. So every one judge would get 16 decks to check that situation.
I mean, that's why I say you submit them in the same order as you submit your deck list. So, I mean, that way you're not having to search for cards. Like, literally, you come in with an unshuffled deck. Yeah. You hand the deck to the judge, you hand them your paper, and they literally just, they do a quick scan. I mean, obviously, in-depth is better, but at least we're getting the tertiary look of I mean, at that point, if you look at a deck that has 5 EX Minfilia, if you hand them one that says 3 and they go 3, 4, 5, or they get all the way through the deck at the back and there's 2 hiding not in the back, I mean, clearly it's going to be like, what just happened? I mean, I think that you're going to catch things like that. It's just a lot more work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. I don't know. I don't know what the correct answer is to this situation. Well, what is the correct way to mitigate what happened? Yeah. And to be honest with you, I really don't care if he meant to cheat or not. The fact that it can happen is the issue, right?
For sure.
And to mitigate these kind of incidents, I don't know. I don't know what the correct answer would be. I think, I actually, once this incident happened, it's funny, Josh, that's some bitch, whatever.
Josh T.
So Josh T was the one that actually IM'd me and was like, dude, get on Facebook. It's fucking going shit right now. So that's when I went online and I saw the community, right, and everyone was really divided. And I put my 2 cents in. Which is what exactly I'm saying right now. No. Intent doesn't matter, whatever, illegal deck, therefore I'm repeating myself. That's why I came to that conclusion for that. I haven't thought too much on how to mitigate this. I don't know what the correct answer would be. Yeah. Is it more thorough checks? Is it worth doing that? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, so far realistically, the game's been around now for a couple years.
About 3 now.
Yeah, we've had big competitions, and this would be the first of a deck type nature, to my understanding, that we would have had an issue with. The rest of the stuff that we've seen at Crystal Cups and stuff has been misplays. Yeah, it's been misplays of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Misplays are really, really hard to prove. intent. You know,
Oh, yeah.
misplaces are crazy hard to prove. I think another commotion is because this is one of the biggest incident with like just a deck.
For sure.
I think people are there's a clear divide. He's a cheater. He's not a cheater. But I think a lot of hopefully we have some viewers of the viewers. I hope instead of trying to figure out intent, there's so much talk about intent. Are you a cheater or not? And I don't think that's important. I think what people need to focus on is how does this affect the game, the health of the game? How can we mitigate this? Should the rulings be interpreted a little bit differently, and should be up to the judges to make certain calls? Like U.S. courts, for instance, I'm going to U.S. courts, but they can interpret, like a judge is able to interpret the law as they kind of see and set precedents, right?
Yeah.
In Korea, it's a little bit different. It's you don't get precedents and you don't get interpretation of law. It's like as written.
Yeah.
Like so. There wasn't a huge thing. I think they're changing that now. But back in the 90s when like the internet was coming, was a thing, becoming a thing.
Yeah.
What was it? Stealing money through the internet wasn't in the law. Like internet was new.
Yeah.
So it was like very difficult to kind of
because you couldn't really prosecute anybody because it wasn't against the law.
Yeah, it was like hard to prosecute. It was like, oh, this guy stole money from me through the internet, and the law's like, fuck. So like I remember like the Congress and had this whole thing trying to make up rules and laws for like how to handle situations for the internet, but it was so new still at that time. It was chaotic. I remember. My dad was jumping on the bandwagon, and I remember selling shit.
All right.
It's a whole story. Maybe I'll talk about it one day. My dad was selling some shit in Korea through the internet, so that was pretty cool. Anyways.
But I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
I think it should be set up kind of like the U.S. system. Judges are able to interpret the law, set precedents to a certain, like head judges, of course, not just random Joe Schmoes like me or something like that coming up into a local tournament and be like, I set it up this way, so all you motherfuckers follow the way I do. So it shouldn't be like that. But
if you do the first point of damage to me, you auto lose.
I like that.
That's a good rule.
Only applicable to Steve Yim. On that note, talking about tournaments, it's a little old, but we do want to discuss it. We did have a local qualifier here in Washington. It was Wave 2. And Neil and I were both present. It was at Critical Strike in Edmonds, and it was a good experience. I've never been to the store until that day.
Yep.
We had 22, 24?
21.
So we had 21 people, and it was a good show. And, the guys were really nice and everything, and we had a really good tournament. They gave us pizza, man.
They did. They brought in pizza.
Pizza was good.
It was good.
Everyone did really well. Ray Chow ended up Ray Chow.
Yes.
Okay, Ray Chow won, and
Chocobo Daddy.
Chocobo. Yeah, the daddy of chocobos, right?
Our local chocobo wrangler.
It's really funny. He won the Petit Cup in Oregon, the Epic Petit Cup, with he called it the Cold Turkeys deck, and it was Ice Wind Chocobo's deck.
Chocobo standard unit.
Yep. And he went completely undefeated, never dropped a set.
Yep.
Never dropped a match. Perfect win there. And then came to Critical Strike, and he called his deck the Leftovers. And it's a very similar deck, but it's a little bit augmented now with Opus IX. Played that, did extremely well, and he won.
Yes, he did.
And congratulations to him. And also another thing, congratulations to Neil, although didn't win. You went completely undefeated in Swiss, and I think that is something to how do I say this?
Be happy about. Be proud
about.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
No, I know. It was awesome. Yeah, it was.
You went completely undefeated. You went 5-0.
Yeah. Yep. And I beat 3 of the 4 people sitting at that final table I had beaten that day.
Okay.
Try John Smith and Ray.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really crazy because these 2 non-meta weird-ass fucking decks went to the finals, right?
Oh, God, man. Tri-Strike wrecked people.
They were both standard unit decks.
They were.
It was crazy. Leftovers, which has chocobos and all that shit. And then Tri is running Waterwind, the Ranger and the Knight and stuff like that. It was standard with the Arc backup, the 2-drop Arc backup with the 5-drop Yuna, with the Chaos Walker.
And just kind of the untargetable Rangers, just kind of it wrecked the Fire Ice decks. They're like, oh, I can't Laswell that. No, you can't.
So funny thing for me, I did not make it to top 8, but the only 2 people that I lost to was Ray Chow and Tri. And Ray Chow and Tri were, first and second. So I just, I'll give myself a pat on the back for that. So, it was really cool. What deck were you running?
I was running Ice Earth. It was the same deck that had won a Crystal Cup. Yeah, the Ice Earth one that had won the Crystal Cup. So it was running the standard kind of Ice Earth. No, it wasn't the standard one. It was running Nidhogg.
You were running Nidhogg.
Yeah, I was running Nidhogg, 3 Seths, and then the 2 Shantotos. What was it? 2 Shantotos, a Jesse, 3 Flans. So it was like Flan Toto. Yeah. But it was running,
it was a little bit off.
It was a little bit different. Also, it was running 2 Veins, which is a little bit different. That was a change that I was wanting to do, and then I saw a couple of guys at the Crystal Cup. I think it was Azul and someone else ended up running double Veins. It won me the mirror match against Ryan Chen. Oh. He was running Ice Earth, and we were down to the end of that game. That game I won on deck out, and I think the final score that went into that game is he dealt 4 points of damage to me, and I dealt 3 points of damage to him, but won because of just the way that it was.
Right, you just decked him out.
Just because I decked him out. But he played a Sephiroth, and he had a Sid Alstein out, and my Vayne at like third to last round locked them down, and he couldn't get rid of it at that point.
Nice.
So it was Vayne won me that game, hands down.
Oh, well, very good job. You went undefeated in Swiss, and then you won in top 8, and then you went to semis, right?
No, I lost to Drew.
Okay, so that's apparently a thing in Washington State. A lot of people are talking about that. I don't know if this is a thing at other places, but a lot of people have been talking about if you go undefeated in Swiss, you'll lose in the next, the first round of day 2 or the top. The only person to have broken this, for what I know, is Ray Chow. He's the only one that's been able to do it in Epic Petit Cup. And maybe, it's in Oregon, so it doesn't count. It's only a curse in Washington State, maybe. I don't know. I think they were talking about it because of the Crystal Cups. A lot of people, that's been a thing at the Crystal Cups. If you go undefeated completely, they never win. They're never the eventual winner.
Yeah, the seat one going into day 2 or the top cut never makes it.
Yeah, never makes it all the way through. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. Someone find
Alex
out.
Scott, I know you like crunching numbers.
Alex Scott, you figured it out.
You have a task now.
Someone should really look into it now that I think about it. Yeah. But it's not going to be me. I don't have too much time for that shit. And I don't care. I don't care enough. I just care enough to talk about it, and then
we'll have to look.
Yeah. So the very last thing that I kind of wanted to a little bit focus on was we have we have 3 days from today. 4 days. 4 days from the pre-release events. Okay. 3 for some other places, but at Geeky Villain, we're going to have it on Saturday, and it is going to be starting at 12. You can come at 12, though. Yes. So it's going to start at 2, so come a little bit early. There's going to be a lot of prizes and stuff like that. I saw in the prize there's slippers and a bunch of books. So
slippers.
Huh?
Yeah, Mog Slippers.
Yeah, the Mog Slippers are pretty cool.
And then there's some of the new annuals.
Annuals that we showed off in one of our Live from Midgar a couple podcasts ago.
Yep.
I do know there's a couple of other books that are going to be coming. That's going to be for the prizes.
Cool.
Little figures and stuff like that. So they should be there. Should definitely come. Everyone is going to have a chance to win something at Geeky Villain. It's a fun event. We've always gotten more than like 28 or something like that since after Opus 5 or since Opus 5, I believe. We've always gotten good numbers. So if you can, everyone should show up. It's going to be a blast. But anyways, because of that, I believe there are no more spoilers. Right? There's no more spoilers from now to pre-release. There's no more now. So I thought it would be really good to discuss our favorite ones that we think that we like and discuss it at a little bit of a length.
Okay.
So I'll let you think about it.
All right. Clearly, you've got a card you want to talk about.
No, I don't. I'm still thinking about it, but I figured I should give you a little bit of time to think about it and make your decision.
All right.
I am excited to try out the Kuja. Wait.
Vane.
Nope. Vane.
Vane.
The card looks the same. Vane. This is from the Dissidia.
Yep.
It is a 5-drop that is a 9K, so it's on curve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool because the moment it comes down, you kind of change the pace of the game. You completely change the board state, I believe. I think this is why it's important. And John Smith, I'm sure, will agree with me because John Smith also really, really liked playing Arden. And Arden had a lot of people saying Arden was really bad. Mm-hmm. But the reason why John Smith really liked playing Arden was the fact that the moment he plays it down, it forces your opponent to really think, and it changes the board state. Now, all the focus comes to Arden now.
Yep. You answer or you lose.
Yeah. And I believe Vane, the 5-drop Vane, does the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now, unlike Arden, Arden has Diabolos counter embedded inside, right? Because it can't be broken, Arden.
Yeah.
But the Vane can be broken by Diabolos, so that's bad. But other than that, other than like Diabolos and Alexander, the 4-drop Alexander, I guess. Other than those kind of straight up break summons, I still think it's good because you're telling your opponent, do you have an answer to this? If you don't, it's going to cost you. Yeah. Because what it does is it comes down, your opponent's forward now gets a special ability because of that Vane. And it says you have to pay 1 at the end of the turn for each forward that you have. If you don't pay it, it'll break.
It's the end of their turn.
End of their turn, right,
But
right.
yes.
Yeah, end of their turn.
Yeah.
So you do give them a little bit of a time. And a lot of the thing on Facebook, a lot of people were talking about, like, you just Tama it in at the end of your opponent's turn and stuff like that. And
that's cheeky.
it's cheeky. It's pretty clever. But the thing is most of the times, if someone's playing in there, it's going to come down and pass the turn. I still am excited to play it and figure out a deck for it.
I think that there are a number of decks out there. I think that before the Vane was even spoiled, I was looking at wanting to try and play a Taxus deck. Mm-hmm. And I think that the new, I can't remember his name, the new Earth card that searches, the card that got Dataluma banned. The one that searches for the monsters and stuff.
Yeah, the 3-drop.
The 3-drop. I think that card opens up a Taxus deck so much because now you can search for your Flandits. Because before you couldn't search for your Flandits. And I've played an Ice Earth Tax deck that it couldn't really do anything because you get your Flandits, but you don't have enough push. Mm-hmm. But there's enough cards that have been added since then, and the ability to find that card can push that to the max. And with some of the new Opus IX Porum or Palom, the ice backup that lets you tap out their backups,
right,
and a couple of those other cards, I think that it does I think there's some really tricksy things that you can do with that deck and kind of really put somebody on the defensive of having to like really think about what they're playing.
Right. Right.
You know, with like Emperor, and you can even go Sid Remedy and Sid, or Remedy and Sid Randall if you want to.
Right.
There's some good search core for that, and you can. I think that Vane's got a searcher, so I mean I think that the ability to get that card out and potentially put people on the defensive with like 7-cost Sephiroth. I mean I think that you can really hurt somebody.
Yeah.
I think that card's going to do. I think the card's going to do much more work than people give it credit for.
Yeah, I think it's so. I think the issue here is a lot of people talk about enter the field, and that's another reason why people talk how a wool is bad. The new wool that got released, and Mystidia Post by Alex Scott wrote a really good article about that wool and tries to defend it. Tries to. I still think it's not as good. Not only because of the fact of it doesn't have an enter the ability or anything like that. It's just it's a light card.
It's named Wall.
It's
already two good walls.
It has to break for the fact. I honestly can't wait to see some cards that have that. I would rather if that wall had when it leaves the field it does 9,000 a little bit better, and the problem with that is you can bounce it back into your hand and then see it, but that's why it's dangerous. But I want a card when it breaks or gets removed still from the field, it still gets to use that ability,
like Viking.
Like Viking or something like that, and I think that's what it's gonna take for these non-enter the ability cards to see some more play.
That you guarantee their value.
Yeah, because you are guaranteed that value now. And instead of enter the field, it's like you're guaranteed that value, right? And now when it leaves the field through the break or through remove, if you still get that ability, you're still guaranteed it. And I think that's going to be what it takes to do it. So for now, I think that wall's bad because it's just break.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it gets removed, you get jack shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think the Vane is the card that I'm most interested in. I would like to see how much I can manipulate it and abuse it. We'll see if I can come up with something. Probably not. I'm not that smart, so I'll probably just put it into an ice deck and just be like, oh, I built this. No, I didn't. But anyways, Neil, now that you had some time, have you come up with one of the cards that's been spoiled that you are very interested in and you're excited for and you want to try out in your deck?
I think there's 3. 2 I won't go really in depth, but I'll just give them out. I think that I'm really interested in the new 1-drop the new 1-drop Zalera. The 2-3-5-7, break 1, duel forward, 2-3-5-7 cost.
One of the 2, 3, so pretty much not 4.
Yeah, prime numbers again, but the low spectrum.
Yeah.
But I think that is a super interesting card at a very low cost that I think is going to, just like Mattias for a little while, just messed with people.
Yeah.
I think that card is going to wreck it's going to catch some people, and it's going to make people cry.
I mean, really think about it. I mean, like in Limited, that card's like fucking busted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. It's a 1-drop. Mm-hmm. So you just, when they swing and attack and they dull, you go, okay, we'll break it.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it helps ice in a couple of matchups like mono win. We're playing mono win today, and that kills a couple of those. It gets rid of that Bart's. There's a couple cards that can just deal with.
Yeah.
That like you can't handle otherwise. Yes, they can activate, but now it's cheap. So like if it gets countered, oh no, I lost a 1-cost summon. It's not like I lost a Glacia,
right?
Or the big Zalera. So I'm excited for that card. I'm excited for the new backup Sid Alstein. I really really like it.
I don't know how I feel about that one. I think it's great, but I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. I hate the new Deceit Dragon. I hate it. But we won't talk about that card. The card
that's a legend.
I hate it.
That fucking thing is a legend.
I hate it. Everyone. I think everyone I've talked to so far thinks I'm kind of crazy. I don't like it.
I don't hate. It's not like I hate it, but I can't believe it's a legend. I think it would have been a fine hero card or something like that.
All right. So the card that I think I'm looking forward to is going to put my fanboy rose tinted glasses on. I really really like the new Fusoya. I really think that I really like it.
Man.
You don't like it?
No.
No. Why not?
I don't know. It seems boring.
So I mean, it's we've got a 7-drop. So we got a 7-drop card that draws 2 cards and does damage equal to the CP that's going to cost to play those 2 cards. So generally speaking, you're going to hit for at least 4K. It's in a deck that has recursion from forwards from Zemus, that has power reduction effects and summons like Cyclops and Black Mages and those things. I think that card is going to hit regularly. It helps you draw through some cards, and then the ability to open up to play summons for any CP color if it happens to stick around. Because yes, it's a 7-drop card and it's able to be hit things by like Diabolos and those other types of cards. But in Lightning, I don't think he's a lightning rod. Pardon the pun. I don't think he's the card. I mean, you've got
get out of here.
Yeah, I know. So if you've got you've got Edias, you've got Estinians, you've got some other cards that are just going to kind of suck up those things, and I feel like if you're using those cards on Fusoya, you're not going to have them for the other cards. And so that Fusoya is going to get to play, and he's going to get to stay around for a bit.
Yeah, but he stays around for what ability? The summon? You can play with you can play summons for any color, right?
Yeah, yes.
And then he doesn't have any other effects other than that, right?
No, that's it.
That's it, right? His ability is literally you get 2 cards in your hand.
Yeah.
You get to deal that much damage to a forward.
Yep. Non-conditional forward, which is also important for Lightning. It doesn't have to be active. Doesn't have to be dull. It's just a forward, which is important.
Yeah,
and different.
I guess. Yeah, so it's a 3-drop. Pretty much, essentially, it's a 3-drop.
It's a pseudo 3-drop. Yeah.
6K.
Yeah, I think so.
6K that can do some damage. That anywhere from 4,000 plus. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I could be like dead wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could do some fun and interesting things. I think it goes in some interesting decks. I think it would be a lot of fun, in a water lightning summon heavy deck with Seymour. The backup Seymour as well. I think you can mess with some shenanigans because at that point you can just do crazy overkill things and be like, oh, look at Seymour. I put a 10 cost summon. I put Raiden on top. Oops, I played Fusoya.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean,
you
I
could do that, yeah.
And then backup Aricia allows you to, switch summons out and pull a summon, discard a summon, get a different summon.
Yeah.
I think it does some cool things.
Yeah, I think it does. It can set it up to do some cool stuff.
Is it going to be a super meta card? I don't know. I think it's just fun. I like the design. It's something different. So I like different cards.
So what are the legend cards that are currently out there that we know of? I think all of them have been released, right? Chaos Mobius for the dark.
Yep.
Wool for the light.
Yes.
And you always get 2 of each color for legends. So that's why you get the dragon, the Lassie dragon, and you get Vayne.
Yep.
Right? For fire, we got the what is it? The 12, 11 is the judge looking thing, the one of the promo. The full art card. Nail. So you get Nail, and then what's the other one for fire?
I don't know.
You're useless.
I am.
But so am I because I don't know either. So there's what else? So for lightning, we know that we have Fusoya, and
I don't know why we're even trying this.
Oh my gosh! Okay, let's pull it.
We're fine.
Okay, we're like fucking Edward's gonna kill us or something. It's like you guys are fucking worthless. Get out of here. All right.
And all of you people watching, you're having to suffer through this as well. Or this is going to be edited out and you won't ever know. So it doesn't matter.
So what's the easiest way to go through this? Do you know?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, I just saw
it's probably finding one of the spoiler site, one of the people who's keeping track.
Oh, my
I don't
God.
even know. I think I know like one of each color.
Yeah.
Cabranth.
Maybe there's like a bronze, right? And then maybe not all of them have been released. Here's Locke, which is a hero.
Yep. They're going to have been so spread out. You'd have to find a specific one. I left my phone over in the room.
So I guess maybe like I don't talk about things that we're not 100% sure of, and I just cut it.
So I mean, I guess that also brings up. I mean, I guess this brings up a solid point that I have heard some people mention about Opus IX, which is they're not terribly excited about it.
Yeah,
I mean, we're trying to talk about it like I'm Opus 8. I'm pretty sure I could tell you what every legendary was, without a doubt. I don't
during
know
the
if
spoiler
yeah, during
times?
the spoiler times.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were all crazy awesome and I wanted them all.
Yeah.
I don't know about Opus 9.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sam Prime made a good point about this. He's saying, not every set can be, a home run. This is really funny because John Gawaran, he's one of our regulars at Geeky Villain. Love the guy. Great guy. Anyways, I have a thing. I buy cases, right? So he you bought a case too. Anyways, he just started. He was like, okay, for this set with all the full arts and stuff like that, I'm gonna buy a case. And then he started seeing some of the cards, and he was like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten a case. So there's definitely people who aren't as excited for Opus 9 as some people. No. I'm still excited. I'm really excited to see the full arts. I can't wait to see all the full arts in person and see the foils of those cards and hold them and caress them and sleep with it. I'm very thrilled. So I'm super excited for it still. Don't look at me weird. You fucking sleep with your cards too.
No, I don't. I mean, yes, they're in my apartment. So when I sleep, they're there. But that's as far as it goes.
I caress them while I lay in bed. All the shiny foils that I have. Anyways, I'm super excited. I think they're still going to be good sets. A lot of the rares and commons and heroes, not all of them have been spoiled. I mean, the legends might not be as great, but if you look at Opus 3 for the longest time, like Zidane is a hero card that is just bonkers right now.
Yeah.
Chaos Walker at one point was, is a hero and is one of the sought after cards, right? I think from Opus 3, only Genesis might have been like the home run card for the legend. I know people were super excited for like the Delita and stuff like that, but Delita kind of fell out dud a little bit. You don't see a lot of it being played. Vivi was a good card, but again, it's fire, so it's horseshit. But if you look at Opus, I think Opus 3 is might be a good example of what Opus 9 might become. Yeah. But then again, also it has the full arts. So I think it's going to retain their value. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't think anything can be as bad as Opus 4 was.
Was Opus 4 the worst one, you think?
I don't like Opus 4.
Why is that?
I don't know. Too many monsters.
I mean, it was the newest release set of.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I just remember. We need to draft with Opus 4.
No.
The current rules.
No, there's no way.
That's what I said.
That's pain.
What I said.
That's pain. Nothing but bad happens
That's
there.
what I said. And I actually wonder how the viewers, if we have any, but if the viewers, I'd like to hear what they actually are thinking. If we can have like a vote or something like that to see what they feel like how Opus 4 would draft with 6-packs with current rules.
5-packs?
5-packs with current rules. Because Miles is like, oh, it's no problem. We can do this. And he's thinking that we can do this. And I'm like, no, you can't. There's so many monsters. I mean, yes, Final Fantasy VI is in Opus 4, but I mean, it's not that great.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's got 6, and I just because at that point when we were drafting, we were still doing the backups tap for any color.
Yeah.
So you could basically play anything that you wanted, and even then, when I could legitimately play the best cards of Opus 4, I still didn't want to draft and play Opus 4.
I think the biggest problem was Terra is a really good card. I still think, and we're gonna see it sooner or later someday. The 4-drop Terra, the light Terra.
Yeah. Okay.
When it comes into the field, you can search for a summon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And put it in your hand. I think that's a great card. Problem is, Opus 4 doesn't have great summons. What Opus 4 summon can you think of? The Bahamut? That's it, right? That's the only summon that gets played currently, and that's fire, too, on top of it.
Yeah, no, the remove the RFG Bahamut is that's about it.
Yeah. I can't remember any of the summons that it gets sees a lot of play.
Opus 4. Was that Hecaton? 2-drop Hecaton?
That's 5, I believe. The 2-drop Hecaton, that's 5, I believe, with Wool.
I tried.
You did try. Good try. But anyways, I think it's a bad set to draft.
Oh, yeah. I think Opus 9 is going to be a good set to draft.
They are definitely keeping that in mind when they're making these sets now. 7 was good. 8 is solid. I think 9's going to be pretty damn solid too.
It's been really fun to draft.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the 8 drafts that we've done. They've been awesome.
And I am very sure that Square Enix, Kageyama and all these people have draft in mind when they're creating these sets.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be amazing. I think pre-release is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I do wish that it was 9-pack sealed still.
Yeah.
They did that for Opus 4. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah.
We got our fancy little
dices.
Our nondescript can't tell it's Final Fantasy dice. If you, that's so disappointing. But we got our 9 packs.
It looked like a crystal.
Yeah, I mean, but you could have put the 0 could have been I don't know, Leonhardt from 8, or it could have been a crystal, or it could have been something.
Yeah.
I mean, I legitimately feel like I could buy that dice over the counter somewhere, which is why I'm Which is funny though, because it's still the one dice I used to roll for all of my games, because Roman numerals suck. But
they're hard, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Is that a 4 or a 6? I don't. Yeah. But no, I think that 9-pack sealed. 9-pack sealed is good. But also, I think that at that point, I think as we've said, I think that consistently, drafting has gotten better over the sets. I think that drafting Opus 3 and Opus 4 and Opus 5 was definitely different than drafting 6, 7, and 8. And I think that we've seen steps in the right direction in that. Obviously, we're talking about draft versus sealed, but I think that is coming more to the forefront. And I think that they're a little bit more intelligent about the card design, the card percentages, and kind of, knowing that that's a thing. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it never gets taken too seriously, because all we get for sealed for at this point, I don't think anyone actually does sealed events, period. I mean,
sealed is almost not a thing, I think. Yeah. I mean, it does happen for pre-release because you're kind of forced into it. And the thing is I think the major problem with people not wanting to do the draft for that is it's their pack, so if they open it, and it's the newest set, so you don't have any of these cards when you do pre-release, right? So no one wants to really draft, because when they open it and you get
have to pass a hero, or
you have to pass a hero or the foil.
Yeah.
You have to choose or a legend or hero and a foil. You have to pass one of these, right?
And now you have to choose between a full art potentially as well.
Yeah, a full art one. So especially, I think that's why a lot of people are hesitant to play draft in the pre-release events, because they just got, this is mine, right? This is my shit. So I think that's the issue. I wish they'd kick it up to 9. I think in Facebook, the group, they were talking about what do you prefer, 9-packs or 6-packs and stuff like that? And a lot of people were saying 9-packs.
Yeah, 9-packs seem to be the far and away consensus.
Yeah, and I really hope Square Enix does listen. I gladly pay. Now, of course, not everyone is fucking flush. I understand, but personally, I would pay the extra 5 or 10 or whatever it would cost to get those extra 3 packs in there.
Would you prefer? So I mean, I guess then that brings up the secondary question. Would you prefer having to pay more and keep current structure as it is? So you get full art promo, you get sleeves, and you get 6 packs, and then tack on a little bit extra to get 9. Or would you like to see one of those other 2 things go away to give you 3 more packs?
I don't know. I'd rather pay more just to get everything in it and all that stuff, but I understand that's not always good for the game, for the health of the game. Pre-release is fun, even for new players who have never played Final Fantasy, and you want them to join in and have fun. And everyone's new to the cards and they're looking and stuff like that, and you want everyone to join in. So the cost should not be prohibitive, I believe, but if it's too pricey, then people are just I don't even know this game. Do I want to join? And people become more hesitant and will not join in. As for do you remember Opus 7 draft kits? Or deck boxes were in there, right?
Yes.
Do you remember if the cost was more expensive for those? Do we pay more for that deck box?
It might have potentially been $5 more.
It was $5 more. Yeah, Ed's shaking his head.
Yeah, I think it was what pre-release kits are generally $30,
yeah.
and I think that one was $35.
Okay. Yeah, I'd pay $35 for 9 packs if they're. I mean, what does Square Enix make those cards? Like they're like what? I don't know, for like $1 per pack, not even.
Probably not even.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think 9-pack. I think 9-pack sealed gives you the ability to make an actual competitive deck. I feel that like I had issues with Opus 5's set where my best cards I pulled I couldn't play because I just didn't have enough of the color. Like I pulled the I call it the 5-drop killer 5-drop killer Sid from Final Fantasy IV.
Mm-hmm.
The wrench one.
Yeah.
That does extra damage to 5 cost and stuff. And I pulled a Diabolos in my pre-release kits, and I couldn't play him because I had 6 wind cards.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of those was a backup, 2 of those were a backup, and it was like, okay.
And that happens a lot with 6 packs. You don't get enough colors. And sometimes I've gotten, like, fucking really fucked where it was like, I have exactly the same number for all the fucking colors. And I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up playing, like, 4 colors, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I hope they listen and, they really listen to the community and amp it up to 9. I think a lot of people would appreciate that, and people should, you should talk about it too.
Opus X special, 9 packs, do it.
All right. So anyways, I think we hit everything that we wanted to talk about. Thank you for joining. This has been Steve.
And Neil.
See you later.
This has been Live from Midgar, the Final Fantasy Trading Card Game podcast recorded at Geeky Villain. For more information, make sure to visit us on Facebook and to check out our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening, and as always, please stay geeky.
Like in the middle, just be like talking to Steve, like, yeah, it was a really crazy situation. I really just don't know what's going on.
The situation at Lightning Coast is just so.